Nathan Zegura here at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, where the Browns fall to 3-6 on the season as they were dominated today by the Miami Dolphins by a final score of 39-17. The Browns started this game great. Big kickoff return from Jerome Ford. Donovan Peoples-Jones a big pass, and a couple plays later it was Jacoby Brissett to Harrison Bryant, and the Browns were up 7-0. But after that, the Dolphins would go on a 30-3 run. That's right, a 30-3 run, being up 30-10 late in this game before a Nick Chubb touchdown made it 30-17, and we get to our final score, 39-17. The Dolphins, they did not punt today. They turned the ball over on downs once, and then at the end of the game, that'll show up there as they ran the clock out. But they didn't punt. They didn't have to. They went up and down the field, and the Browns could not stop them. It was almost like watching Madden. It was like watching a video game. Mike McDaniel and this offense was absolutely cooking today. Going into it, the Browns were the running football team. The Dolphins, the passing football team. But the Browns could not run the football. Nick Chubb, other than that long run, which came in the fourth quarter down 20, a 33-yard touchdown scamper. Prior to that, 10 carries for 30 yards. He lost a fumble, and that was on the Browns' second possession. The Browns would then turn the ball over on downs on their third, and it just felt like this game was going to get out of hand, and it did quickly, especially into the second half. As I mentioned, the Dolphins would possess the ball for at least 6 plays every time they had it. They scored on all drives but one. They did not punt, and they did it both running and passing. As I said, the Browns were supposed to be the running football team. It was the Dolphins. Newly acquired Jeff Wilson. He came in, put up over 100 yards on the ground. Raheem Mostert, he gave you about 60 yards on the ground and a touchdown of his own. Both would rush for touchdowns. The Dolphins on the day would run for just under 200 yards with 2 touchdowns at nearly 6 yards a carry. And Tua was brilliant once again for the third straight games. He would throw 3 touchdowns. He would have no interceptions and a quarterback rating of 135. He threw it to all levels of the field. His accuracy is incredible to watch. He does not have the strongest arm, but the anticipation and the precision with which he throws made him so effective. He would complete passes to 8 different receivers. Tyreek Hill, who came into this game averaging 123 yards a game, leading the NFL, had 5 catches for 44 yards. Yes, he did score a touchdown in the second half, but it was everybody else that got into it. Trent Sherfield, the fullback Alec Ingold. He threw the ball, as I said, to 8 different receivers, and the Browns just could not stop the Dolphins. Offensively, the early turnover, yes, that derailed them, but they couldn't run the ball at all, and they struggled to protect Jacoby Brissett. He was sacked multiple times today, and even when he was not sacked, he was getting hit as he delivered the football. He took a pounding from the pass rush led by Bradley Chubb. Christian Wilkins, their defensive tackle, the Dolphins at times was the best player on the field. They had Melvin Ingram, Jalen Phillips, all of them getting to the cornerback all game long. And so for the Browns, they really couldn't get anything going offensively. They couldn't stop on defense. They were beaten, and they were beaten soundly. And coming off of the best performance of the year against Cincinnati, you thought coming off the bye, you'd ride that momentum. You'd come down here, a chance to make a statement, a chance to get to 4-5, a chance to beat a team with playoff aspirations of their own. And instead, the Browns were soundly beaten in every single facet of this game, especially on offense and defense. And you leave Miami now at 3-6, heading to Buffalo, and you say to yourself, it feels like it's a must-win game to try to get back to 4-6. Not the position this Browns team wanted to be in. Again, the early season shortcomings, giving some of those away, has come back to roost now at 3-6 in a game where you leave here with significantly more questions than answers about the state of your football team. But the good news is in the NFL, you get to flush it and move on. The Browns will have another opportunity to get a big win next week in Buffalo. But it did not happen today. They were soundly beaten by the Miami Dolphins, who moved to 7-3 themselves. They have now won 4 straight games, and the Browns, as I said, drop to 3-6. We'll have a full breakdown of this, what needs to change, how this team needs to cover up some of the deficiencies we saw today, how they can go out there and try to steal one in Buffalo, because right now it feels like a season on the brink for the 2022 Cleveland Browns.